Okay, well, hello? Okay. We'll go ahead and get started. And we got a lot of new people here tonight. So we're the Rocky Mountain Inventors Association. We're a 501c3 nonprofit educational group. Been around since 1978 in a lot of different forms. And our goal is primarily to help people make the transition from a product to a business. They have an invention or they got a working prototype and get it protected, but the major leap of faith and work is to turn that product into a business so it starts to pay off for you. We usually do a round robin. Everybody take about a minute, introduce yourself and what you've got going on, and maybe the nature of your questions. Just remember, if you haven't already publicly disclosed or don't have patent pending, don't disclose detail about your invention. Just you can talk about it in a summary form if you want. Let's see, anything else? We got, we do meet, website has the announcements. We're on Meetup too. We meet the second and fourth Mondays of the month, same time and place, and we do meetings in conjunction with the Denver Patent Office and the Denver Public Library on specialized topics, probably about every quarter. So the next meeting is on business valuation, which is to help you understand what goes into making the value of your business, and you always want to keep that in mind because someday you'll eventually sell it. And then a meeting after that is how to prepare for trade shows, which is always a good way to make contacts and start promoting your product, especially trade shows that are for your field, specialized trade shows. So we'll go ahead and start here and just introduce yourself and tell us what's going on.
Okay, I'm Paul Moran. This is my right hand, my eyes, Carol Ann Ball, and a lot more. We have a product that renders wood and most fabrics absolutely fire resistant. We have a patent on it, thanks to Roger. Our biggest goal right now is to try to get the thing on the marketplace. And that's more of a challenge than developing the product and getting a patent and everything else. So anyway, it's been a real road. It hasn't been a rocky road yet, but it's certainly looking gratifying. We get a lot of interest, and now we just get some sales. I'm looking to put together a sales organization.
I'm Roberto Ruschena. I'm a patent agent. I've been practicing patent law for about 15 years now. I'm the U.S. correspondent of few Italian law firms. So I do the filing and prosecution of patent application in the U.S. that already been usually filed at the European Patent Office or in Italy. So I do the U.S. prosecution, filing and prosecution of patent application. Anyhow, if you have any question on the patent process, I'll be available for you.
I'm Reda Znagi, a senior student at UCD, University of Colorado in Denver, mechanical engineering. And at the same time, I'm the president of the Society of Mechanical Manufacturing Engineering. And I'm here to learn from you guys on inventors and patents and all the process. Thank you.
I'm Rafael Sanchez, and I am in mechanical engineering, faculty in mechanical engineering at the University of Colorado, Denver. And yes, we do projects. designs, feasibility studies, analysis, and so forth. And we have some ideas of our own, so we're still interested in getting to learn about the process in general, what goes exactly after what we have developed, an invention and so forth, and see what are the easiest ways to, or at least more economical ways, or the appropriate ways to get investors interested on this kind of work and so forth. So look forward to learning about your resources as well.
Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I'm a participant in the Patent Office's ProvoPat program. They filed a utility patent for me a little over a year ago, waiting for the first office action, and ultimately I want to license these products. I don't want to have a business.
Hello, I'm Dex. I'm with the Precision Machine out of Canyon City, Colorado. We do prototyping, CNC machining, 4-axis. I patented a oil field product. This company actually helped produce the product for me. I sold the company and just helped them represent them and working on some other ideas.
I'm Garry Paulus, engineer by training. Have two patents, two products that I've patented, and have a license deal on one of them that's not working out, and am working on a second license deal, which seems to have some good promise to it. So.
I'm Jeff Silvis, and I have just like 4 provisional patents, just trying to get some licensing.
Thanks a lot. So now I'll introduce our speaker, Garry Neff. Gary's a client of mine for, I think, going on 8, 9 years now. So we got him his patent, and we're struggling to get a trademark. The trademark's a little bit too descriptive, but we're working through those issues. But Garry, it's great. He's got a real company, a real product, and had a lot of sales. And his experience and expertise is a lot in sales, distribution, logistics. And so, I'd mentioned to him this is a topic we don't touch on much, which is how do you sell your product? There's a lot of different ways to sell a product. So, say after you've got your patent in place and you're manufacturing, how do you get it out? What's the most efficient and effective way? How can you avoid getting ripped off, keeping the pricing right, getting the exposure right, warranty returns, all kinds of stuff. So that's where Gary's expertise lies in. So please ask questions during the presentation in this area, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, I came here kind of the last minute. I don't know, put together a presentation that didn't make much sense. So what I can offer you as a group is preliminary stages of going through getting a patent and trying to work forward. Where probably I can give you my experiences of what we went through and the challenges we faced. And in the last year and a half, we've taken on Amazon. For anybody in this business right now, if you're not watching, they're going to become a distributor, retailer, DIYer. Amazon is literally starting a movement that is not going to be just Amazon. They're beginning something between Amazon, Jet, a few others that are all your major players that are distributor that was very, very large for us, taking our products, buying them in bulk, and turn around selling Amazon. So we know it's coming, and we've adopted it. We're trying to take that adaptation to the next level, which is use Amazon as our storefront, as a reseller, and get rid of the two-step distributors that are reselling anyway. Between that and all the rest of that information that goes with trying to sell your product, we've got a lot of experience. We're a niche industry. We sell to a marketplace that used to be very seasonal with some recreational vehicles, traveling industry, that people that own motorhomes, travel coaches, but we've grown in an area where we sell to a lot of people in a lot of markets. We've expanded our base through Amazon. We're selling in Canada, about to sell in Mexico. We've had invitations to sell in Europe, Australia. I hate to say it, I hate it when it came about. Amazon is going to be our future. If we don't adapt them, they're going to adapt us. We've already had so many issues with them reselling our products. The margin structures that they go after, should you choose to use them without protection, will drive your product right into the hole. Having said that, I don't know how else to use the broad stroke what we are. We're a niche industry. We started accident, patent through Roger, about 7 years ago. We're into it. About 8 years later, we stuck with it. We were waiting to get to where we could sell it to an industry player, absorb us, or take us next level, which is huge international type stuff. $6 million capabilities that we don't currently have with our outsourcing. International sales, that's a whole other animal. That's international patent license rights, protection of selling overseas in China. The fingers go so far and so deep that you need a big organization. How's that? I'm sure nobody in here needs me to be able to speak to this thing, and so this is just for your movie, isn't it? Okay, cool. Yeah. The last step in the process, we had to go to Washington and sit down in a room of engineers that were way past my pay grade. And Roger had to be in the background on a conference call because their questions got so technical that I don't know, talk to the patent attorney. So it was really interesting. They wanted to know things that really had not much to do with the patent, but they wanted to know about diagrams and motions and movements. But it was successful. And Roger said, you can go to Washington, D.C. as the last step. They turned us down 3 times. We responded 3 times, and the 4th time he said, well, here's what you can do. We flew into Washington and had a meeting with a couple engineers in a little dark room in a government building and picked our brains and picked us apart and said, thank you very much, and see you later. We didn't hear back from them for what, Roger, 3, 4 months when they responded. So if you haven't got a patent and you're working on a patent, the patent office, as much as I hate to say it, as a government agency, really stinks. They really, really stink. They're bad. They're overwhelmed. It's too bureaucratic. Their response times, the response levels are dismal. You can't talk to anybody. You can't get a phone number or a name. It's just, I don't know, Roger, good luck. I think it's a very, very poor process. And unfortunately, they're so overwhelmed that they are not going to change it. They're going to leave it. The Denver Patent Office may help some, but I doubt it. Everything has to be done by email and fax. You can't talk to anybody. And that's too bad. You should be able to talk to people, but you can't. So you're still chasing down a patent. Trust me, as much as I hate to always build him up, he does a good job at it. He has the keys to be able to talk to those folks at a level we can't. What else, Roger? There's just so much to this whole thing that it's so hard to bring to you a presentation that's going to point you in a direction that's like your success. It's hard work, and a lot of finding where all the fingers go and which ones are successful and which aren't, and how to pursue them, and which trade trade shows to go to, distribution networks, whether or not you need to play in that world, you're trying to sell direct, or you want to be an Amazon company or an eBay, or sell to other people that resell for you. There's just there's so much there. And I'm full of chock full of information, and I have enough to do with what we're trying to accomplish with our company. We've been at it for going on 8 years. We've got all our distribution networks established or thought we had, and Amazon kicked us in the teeth a year and a half ago, and everything changed. So that change we're still trying to accommodate. I think 2 years ago, if we hadn't dealt with Amazon, we probably would have been fine for selling, amalgamating with somebody else, or even taking over. But they really screwed the pooch and changes that we can't. We have to deal with them. We have to learn to deal with them. Those are all obstacles that we're facing, and he's a big part of it. Go ahead. Ooh, I don't even know where to start. They approached us. There's two levels of how many people in here have any experience with Amazon on resale. It's going to make this tough. Amazon has 2 channels of being able to sell products through them. One's called Vendor Central. The other's called Seller Central. Vendor Central, Amazon buys products from you, the purchase order, and they resell on their platform, sold and shipped by Amazon. They control everything. And what they do control, which is the most frightening part of it, is pricing. They don't care. Amazon will put products, when they buy a product from a manufacturer, they'll put a product out there and price it at whatever level they need to price it at to sell it. Which means what happens is the price of your product will do one of these. They'll take a product down to where they make less than their own payback. They don't care. They'll just keep selling it. They're going to win the buy box. They're Amazon. And they'll continue to do it forever. So if you look into Amazon, Vendor Central side, in the initial preview, looks like it's very attractive because you get purchase orders. And they pay you in 60 days. And then after you play that game for a while, you realize that unless you really get into them on a very deep level, they kill you with freight, with terms, 60 days with 2% terms. It sounds like it's not bad, but they kill you in the long run. So we did that, and we lived with that world for about 8 months and realized that this is not functioning. We got ourselves an Amazon consultant, turned around, we went to the Seller Central side of Amazon. Seller Central is where you take your product into Amazon, you pay all the upfront costs, but you control your prices as long as you don't have any competition. So what happens on Amazon, anybody can sell anybody's product for any price at any time. You have no control. The only way you control that is to register your brand on Amazon. Once you register your brand, then people can't resell your product without your specific authorization. So, but to register your brand, you have to have a registered trademark. And registered trademarks and copyrights, once again, you get to go back to the patent office. Once again, you get to go back to people who don't talk to you, don't respond to email, and you have no phone number, so you sit and wait. You send back replies that make no sense, and you can't get it. So you're kind of stuck in a no man's land. So the 2 places to sell on Amazon, the Vendor Central and Seller Central, are choices you make depending upon what strengths your company. If you've got a patent that has a registered trademark, I would strongly recommend you go to Seller Central, register your brand, put a store up there, and then literally don't allow anybody else to sell your product to the manufacturer. If, however, you sell through distribution, meaning you have a network within your industry that you sell to, a second-tier company that has a bunch of stores that sell your specific product, then you have to put MAP pricing together, and you have to enforce it. MAP pricing is minimum asking price. This means that you have a policy on your website, all your documents, all your contracts, that you have a minimum asking price. People can advertise all they want, but they have to ask the minimum asking price. If they want to negotiate afterwards, they can. But that's something that you have to be able to determine how you want to handle your sale.
So if you sold, let's say you sold to a regional retailer, they could go with your product on Amazon.
You go on, I mean, how many of you go to Amazon to buy products?
What?
How many here buy products on Amazon?
You see it all the time on Amazon. You see the same product.
Nobody in this room buys products on Amazon? You do. So when you go there, when you click on the buy box to buy, do you ever look at who else is selling the product, or you just click the buy box? Looking for price, or looking for other information, or just to see if there's what others are out there? No, they don't. But if you're an Amazon buyer, which most people go there to buy stuff, they buy the Prime membership, they get the shipping, they get all the terms, when you go there and you click on the buy box, most people don't look at where it comes from, who sells it. The buy box is always controlled by either the manufacturer or the price. Amazon controls both. So when you click on the buy box on Amazon, you're buying typically from Amazon or from whoever has the cheapest price. So if you ever, next time you go to Amazon, you don't click on the buy box, look on available from these other sellers, and you'll find there'll be listed sometimes 2 or 3 pages of people all selling your product, all within 2 or 3 pennies of one another. And when Amazon controls that, what happens is anybody in that second or third page selling your product drops their price by 2 or 3 cents or a dime or 20 cents, Amazon automatically drops theirs by 25 cents or 30 cents. They automatically will go down lower to be the lowest price. So what happens to you as a manufacturer, your product price is doing one of these numbers. When you get down to a certain point, you can't support your own company anymore. Amazon may be giving you terms, but it's not doing you any good. You're trying to sell through your own website, or you have a distribution channel with retailers are selling your product, they're all screaming. We can't compete against Amazon. We don't want any more of your product. We're not going to order anymore because we're not selling anything. Amazon's selling all of it. And Amazon's pinching you for terms and for price points that you can't live with. You'll get a notice from Amazon. I get one 2 or 3 times a week from the buyers. You need to lower your price by this much. Next week, you need to lower your price by this much. You need to lower your price, lower your price, lower your price. Because they're having to compete. They don't like losing money, so they badger you to lower your price so they can sell it cheaper. It's a tough nut to crack, but with the right kind of tools in place and getting your company protected with, the strongest thing you can do if you have a patent and you're wanting to sell your product, get your trademark and your copyrights filed and protected. Don't wait to do it. Do it with your patent application. Just don't wait. It's the only protection you've got in the United States from here forward to be able to compete with Amazon and get protected. Because Amazon right now will not allow you to put a storefront, which is an Amazon storefront. You go to the store and you have all your stuff listed there. You can't get that store without a copyright and trademark filed, license number. So we're in that position. We're fighting Amazon at a level that's really hard to comprehend. We dumped one of the biggest distributors in our marketplace, multi-billion-dollar distributor, and we won't build the purchase orders. The only way we could stop them was to throttle their supply, cut it off. We cut off a lot of other people at the same time. But it's the nature of the beast. From there, I'm going to shut up. Go ahead. Yep. Yep. Your distributors, if you have an industry, do you have an industry that's going to sell your product that's 2-tier, where you sell to a distributor and they sell to a retailer, to a wood shop, to a place that sells products? If you're going to sell through distribution, Amazon's going to kill you, because what happens is your product goes to distributors. Distributors will sell to anybody. They don't care. If you're a licensed dealer or retailer for a distributor, the distributor's going to fill the purchase orders. What 90% of those guys are doing is they're putting 5% of the stuff in their stores in their own inventory, putting the rest on an Amazon listing, letting the dice roll. So you have no control over it. You can't do anything to those resellers because you don't have a trademark protector. You can't come back and say, look, you're not authorized to sell our products at this price point. We need you to enforce your MAP pricing, and they just laugh at you.
One of the things that I did, because I run the same thing with my product, was I had a wholesale distributor. And then there was someone like that down the street, and I just started doing that. And so I had to read that, and what I did was I just put my lowest margin that I wanted on a high quantity of product. So if they wanted that price, they had to buy this much.
But did you see it come back at you on Amazon? I guess maybe this shouldn't be all focused about Amazon because there's way more other methods to do this, play this game. Amazon is not the catch-all for all people and all companies, but they're the wave of the future. And from what they're doing with Walmart acquiring Jet and all the rest of them, and what's some of those weird ones that are out there? The Pinterest groups that have come along. There's a couple other ones. Etsy's. There's a ton of them that are all doing this. And it's like the millennial generation is not going to shop old school. They're not gonna do what we do. They go in there and they don't just look at a buy box. They look at the cheapest price. That's the button they click. They could care less who's selling it, where it came from, about brand loyalty, cheapest price. And then they knock your ears off with their customer service requests and returns. And so, but that's what's coming down the pike. So either you adapt to that now, trying to wait for it. I mean, there's still old school out there. My market, when I started 8 years ago, was old school. It was the RV industry, the motorhome owners, people that traveled the highways and byways. They're all retired. Their kids are gone. They want to live. They don't want to be tied down. And they bought our products. They are who we sold to. We initially sold only to them through Camping World. How many here know Camping World? So they're our biggest retailer. And so far, we haven't had an issue with them because they're not playing the Amazon game. They're in their own game. But that industry is slowly changing so rapidly that it's just frightening. I would love nothing better than to have a really incredibly active social media company come along and want to join up with us. People that really know how to do the Facebook and all the Twitters and Instagram and all those places where that social media leg for us is untapped. We haven't touched it. But I'm too old for that. I don't learn that very well. It's an industry that in itself is very, very challenging. So the market for your products tends to be where it's marketed. If it's old school and limited and where you don't have to fight this thing, you're probably going to do okay. But if it's going to be general population sales to the world, you can't ignore them.
Well, you're selling to Amazon. Can't you just say that's it? Not selling anymore?
We did the vendor central side. And they send us purchase orders every week. And tell them you have to respond. And they ask you, why don't you have inventory? Why can't you fill these POs? Why aren't you, every week you get it?
Amazon is affecting you this?
Yeah. There's two sides to Amazon. And they are like this. They don't talk to one another. They don't know each other. They don't have any communication with each other. It's like two different companies. So the vendor central side that orders your product, they're the ones that are out there reselling and matching anybody's price and lower. Seller Central is the other side of Amazon, and you control that. So you go into that fight. Vendor Central approached us. They came to us with a new RV segment buyer that wanted to expand their world in RVs. They put a new category together, and they came after us, and we were dumb. Oh, sure, why not? We started filling purchase orders, and all of a sudden, paperwork, legwork, customer service, terms, and conditions, and all was like, this is not going to work. We learned the hard way. We spent 8 months with that before we realized that we were being tanked. We watched our price points, and our retailers were saying, hey, what? Amazon's selling your product for $20 less than we are. We don't support any more of your stuff. So it forced itself upon us. They're out there. There's automated repricer software you can buy, pretty cheap, and you tie it onto your Amazon listing. The minute somebody orders your product from a competitor for 1 penny less than you have it for sale, your repricing software automatically drops your price by 2 pennies. If they drop it by a dime, yours drops it by 20 cents. It's automatic. So the people that want to play the game get on there, and they get products from everybody. We have people selling our products that they sell jewelry, they sell balloons, they sell junk, they sell crap, they sell everything under the sun, and including our product. And all they're doing is just rolling the dice. We get 2 of these, 10 of these, 8 of these. A lot of these places are buying it from wholesalers who do nothing but amalgamate a whole bunch of products from different people. These guys go, I'll take 10 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those. Immediately they throw it up on the website. They take your listings, all your pictures, all your descriptors, everything about your product, you just steal it. So your product shows up tomorrow, looks just like your product from your company with all your information from another supplier. And you have to fight it. Yeah, go ahead. That's another level. And there's a couple of Chamber of Commerce at the national level. I can't remember the name of the legislation. Roger might where you can actually file against somebody that's producing a product that you know is not yours. And you stop at the border. Amazon is not completely participating right now, but they're moving towards it. So once you register your brand, you have your trademarks filed, then you can go to Amazon and you can say, this is not our product, it's counterfeit. And they'll do something about it. They'll actually put a stop to that company and say, you can't sell, we've had someone turn in a notice that your product is not made by the manufacturer, counterfeit. You can stop it. They've had actions already gone down where it's working. And there's already legal companies that are sprouting up everywhere. They're doing map enforcement for you. You pay them a price and they'll do your map enforcement. They'll go out there and go after those people that aren't carrying your map, find the counterfeiters, and go down that road. So it's going to evolve, I think, in a good way down the road. I mean, the days of Chinese counterfeiting on Amazon, since Amazon's become a global player, are going to, I think, go the other way. For those that get brand protection. For people that are just selling widgets, pet rocks on the internet with their name on it, they're screwed. It's not going to work. Because Amazon won't fight for you. They simply won't. They say, look, you've got a civil battle between you and whoever's selling your product, or you think is selling your product, you shouldn't. You go after it. We won't. That's not what we do. It's going to be like haves and have-nots. People that get their products developed and patented and put together correctly and get all the national protections in place. That's when you go to war. You're not going to do it. I'm reticent that I didn't try and do this at the beginning, but I've learned really hard from it. And we don't have it. We still don't. So we're fighting it at a couple of different levels and spending a lot of money and attorney fees and play the game. We're not doing too bad. We still know. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is something you'll be able to answer or not. It's an international question. About a month or so ago, I presented my product to an international company, actually in development. And it's in the industry, and I'm seeking licensing deals. And I haven't signed a formal NDA, and so they signed it, and so then I got that all done, and I sent the idea to them with a video prototype working. And he sends me an email back and says, oh yeah, we thought of that a long time ago, and we just haven't made the product yet.
Ouch.
What recourse would I have if they tried to model it?
You just crossed a lot of lines, and I don't know to give you guidance on that one. You're probably better off talking to Roger. I mean, sending that information and product, so many things about when and where you can or can't. Have you filed anything for it? Maybe. Just out of curiosity, why did you go there first?
To the Delta? I didn't go there first. I was actually looking at different companies, you know, in the industry to present to for a licensing deal. And they really were aggressive in getting back to me, trying to get better with the idea.
Yeah, well, I'm just curious why you decided to not get all of it done here before you. Normally, the route of action for most of us, it makes the most sense, is to keep it close to best, which means do it all here, where you're speaking English, you're talking to people that really abide by laws and customs and aren't liable to screw you as much as going overseas. I mean, we did that for 6 years before we approached the international market for manufacturing, simply because once you get more established and you have a name and they know and you've done a lot of filings and so on and so forth, they're least likely to come back with what you might face.
They sell a lot of products here in the States. It's a relatively newish company, so but they're growing in popularity in this industry. So that's why I thought it might be a good because they're really getting well known. But now it's becoming no, I'm not talking about it.
Or you play a bit of a game with them, keep some kind of,
Well, keep an eye on your products.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's no matter what they do, access to the information.
Anybody else? I wish it was more comprehensive, more distribution channel stuff that for you to use.
How about distributor agreements and stuff? Maybe you know a lot of that. I guess that's called mechanical sales through distributor, like you know you might have certain sectors that your distributor can't.
Distribution networks, for the most part, don't want to sell your product. They want to stock it. They want to put it on their shelves, and then they want to get orders from the third-party players who put it on their shelves and sell it.
Your distributors typically serving the market that you're not. You guys are not.
Or both levels. Our market couldn't be touched, probably 90% of it without them. So we had to go to them, but it was a game to try and what comes first, the chicken or the egg. You don't have to empty your product. Nobody wants it. Why do you want us to carry it? What good is it going to do you and us to put your product in our shelves if nobody's going to order it? So creating a demand becomes the first thing that you have to do. Creating a demand is the first step behind your product, unless it's a pet rock where you get on TV and explodes, but it's not real for most of us. But creating a demand boils down to finding out the industries that you want to sell to and where you're going to be sold, which sometimes can be challenging to determine. And then you start following that trade show route. And I've got to be honest with you, it's not easy. It's not fun. I mean, going out of town 6, 8, 10 times a year for 4 or 5 days at a time and setting up a trade show booth and hawking your wares and trying to get interest and a little sale here and a little sale there. You come home at the end of the day and it can be depressing because you know you got a good product, you know it's going to sell, but the buyers are the buyers. You know, they're a pretty arrogant bunch. They always are. You know, well, I don't know if I need your product. Actually, I don't have room for it this year. You know, and then there's category buyers and all these distributors that, well, the next time we're going to look at your category is next May. Why don't you give me a call? So for 6 months, you chase the buyer and he doesn't respond. He doesn't get back to you. Send him dozens of emails. You don't hear anything. You do the next trade show. He says, yeah, you know, I was going to look at it, but you know, I got busy and didn't do it. 2 years has gone by. You're not making any sales, and you know that distributor can hold the keys to get your distribution network going. So it's a very, very, very challenging environment. It can be tough to do when you get over the hole. Trade shows just are not fun. And doing it time after time after time, you get known. Sometimes the advertising in the magazines that are critical for your industry start advertising. It's a cheaper way to do it, but those ads are expensive. You run an ad, you run an ad, you run an ad, you start developing some demand, and then all of a sudden the buyer says, you know, I got so-and-so said he's interested. I'm going to try out a couple of them. You open up one, and then maybe another, and then a third. And it's not developing and patenting a product is just the very, very beginning. From there forward, it's just and hiring other companies to do it is you just you'll get nailed. They'll crucify you. You know, cost you a ton of money. And rep groups, I mean, that's another world to try. Finding the rep groups within your industry that are good, decent, really do a job and do it without taking on. I mean, those guys don't want to sell products that they can't make a commission on. So if there's no sales, rep groups don't talk to you. Hey, I don't want your product. I got to work my tail off to make any money with your stuff. So why don't you give me a call back when you're established? Even after we got established, rep groups came back and said, well, we want all your accounts. I'm in 3 different industries. You know, you don't sell in the industry that he doesn't care. He wants them all. So he wants commission on everything you sell, and you're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you commission on you don't do anything. And for the most part, rep groups, a lot of them don't do much. They're more fluff than anything. You'll find a good one, and you go to one of the trade shows, and they'll have 3 booths wide, and there'll be 200 products in it. And nobody gets good service. It's just in line that they carry, that they know somebody, they know the buyer of the company. If you have a single source company or a single source big organization you want to go after, I would strongly recommend go after the big guy. Go after it, just become a pain in the ass. Just go after him, find him. He gets to a trade show, if you find out he's going to be there, find him. Get him in the corner and say, hey, this is a great product. What you talking about? You can't always do that. But we secured one of our biggest accounts by showing up and waiting 6 hours for the owner of the company to show up. He got right in front of him and going out the door. Here. It had nothing to do with magazine ads or how hard we worked. What we did, places like that. There's a lot of that in product marketing. Go ahead.
I was just curious, how much does an average cost for a booth at a trade show?
Runs the gamut. If you consider the cost of a trade show, normally most of them are 3 to 4 days for industry trade shows. I always pegged about $6 to $7 grand for the trip. 7 grand. You're talking about you drive, you can get there by driving. You fly if you got to fly. You rent a car. You got a hotel for 3 or 4 days. You got food, lodging, plus the cost of trade show. Plus if you got somebody there to help you set up, take on the booth, 6 to 7 grand. You can do like if you go to our show. Some of our shows are here in Denver, Kurgan, or down to Merchandise Mart or whatever. The Denver Home Show we did one year. Even the Denver Home Show, 7 days long, 12 hours a day. You can't do it by yourself. You got somebody else sitting in the booth. You drive down here. You pay for parking. You pay for the booth. You pay for $2 to $3 grand in Denver. You go on the road, go to St. Louis, or you go to Dallas, or Vegas, or whatever. I mean, you're still going to spend $5 to $6 grand. I never worked out any better than that. I mean, if somebody's got some kind of a method to do it, but sitting down and trying to plot favorable flights and cheap rental cars and hotels that don't cost much money and eating buffet lines, but you can only do that for so long. When you're starting out, you can. So pencil in $4 grand sailor. I'm just being facetious there, but it's pretty true.
Do you think Anthropos can hold their own?
I don't know what's going to happen. I know that they're starting to manufacture some of their own stuff, actually put their name on it.
Okay, well, I guess they've got the service and accessories.
Well, they're competing against the people they buy from. So whether or not they're ever going to sell an online forum past their own website, I don't see that right away. They're still too old school. They still have way too many people that are very loyal to them and their loyalty programs. And they've branched out. They bought Gander Mountain. They bought over to the ski. They're going to buy another outdoor shop. And that's our big retailer. They're selling insurance. They're selling motorhomes. They're selling warranty. They're selling campground. They own a campground here in Colorado. They bought just south of the Pepper Pod restaurant on I-76. As you go around the curve, they bought a KOA campground. It's called Camping World Campground. So They're getting into campgrounds. They're getting into everything. So their need to go sell product on Amazon, I know one of their store managers is a real good friend of mine. He says they don't make any money in the stores on selling products. They make their money on all the other stuff, selling RVs and selling life insurance, and road insurance, and campground memberships. So their product sales are their key towards survival. One other. Sure, I can hand these around. These are just these are our two main products. One that we patented, one that we're working on a patent. They're lift kits. Literally, they're focused on the RV industry. They're a problem solver. People that have RVs. Anybody here own an RV? Motorhome, camping out. So our kits are to lift the doors, the outside baggage doors, the beds inside where you stay in. Inside there's always a bed in there. There's tons of storage underneath. 80% of campers that are made in the United States the storage is there, but you can't access it. So we build kits where you can attach our systems and lift up the storage stuff underneath. And then we sell the hardware, gas springs, like the back of your hatchback, the springs that lift them up. We sell a complete line of those gas springs for all kinds of applications. We sell hardware, brackets, wall studs, and everything that supports our lines of products that we sell. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. Well, she can explain it to you over hot coffee. We sell repair kits. So many people that have places in their RVs that fail. And everything in an RV has got no support. It's made out of foam and plastic. Nothing there. So they tear stuff up and they mount stuff to the doors. We sell kits. We use 3M adhesive. We work with 3M. They came up with a system of adhesive and primer that will bond to a plastic plate. You can hang anything. We sell primer kits. We sell hardware kits, which are just universal brackets. We sell utility lift kits for lifting up access points underneath a crawl space or a stairway into a lower part of your house. You're all welcome to keep one of these if you want to. They're basically the product line with everything shown. This is the brochure. I'm not trying to market anything, but people want to know what you sell, what you did. We started out with one kit. It's called a hatchling kit, which was nothing more than my own RV that I had, and I'm a construction guy. I'm a contractor. I had it boards that constantly fell down and smashed me in the head. I drove me nuts. So I said, I gotta find a way to fix this. So I came up with a lift kit to lift up the door inside of the RV, and went to Roger and Hatchling kits is pretty much like not a design, it's a utility patent. It describes lifting a lifting mechanism with a bracket, and it can be poked through. That's the other thing about a patent, and probably all you guys realize is it doesn't matter what your patent says or what you got on it. If somebody wants to violate it, they're going to do it. They're going to modify and change something, and they're going to come at you. If they want you and they got the muscle and the power, the problem is that you may have a really, really gold-clad patent, but you better have a gold-clad attorney that you can afford to pay to fight it. Because if they take it and they come back against you, it's up to you to take them to court. So it's not like it's a given that a patent's going to be your catch-all, but it shows that you're serious. It shows that you did something that took a lot of money and time and effort. So I've had several competitors come back and realize it would take a lot of money to get that patent changed. I said, well, it's your call. That's what you tend to do, but that when somebody tells you that, they'll make you pretty mad. All of it's here. We started here. We did it with all local players. Right now, I have to tell you that probably 80% of our raw commodity is all coming from China because we couldn't afford to continue to do it here. But that's an exercise that took 2 years, and we're still playing with that one. We're working through the World Trade Center. If you guys want a good resource, WTC Denver, and just go to their website, and down south and temporary quarters right now. WTC Denver, the United States Chamber of Commerce will actually go to work for you with very, very reasonable dollars. They'll do research, they'll do marketing, they'll do anything you want to do. They'll set up with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce like we're in the process of doing. They will attend and go with you to China with a person from that country who knows manufacturers and speaks the language. Do an in-house inspection. It's not very expensive. I think they threw a quote at me of $2,400. So, and I've been working with them for about on and off for a couple of years, but they're a tremendous group of people. World Trade Center. World Trade Center Denver, just go to their website. They've got an attorney on staff that's been playing the game. He's got people in China that he knows can work for us. The World Trade Center office, the guy that's down there, is really a great resource for just general knowledge. And you go in there and you tell them which country, what you're trying to source, and they'll put together a package. I think they did a due diligence study for us on our manufacturer and charged me $1,000. Which means they came back after doing a complete analysis of what's going on with my manufacturer, where you sold, how much, how often, their size or scope, what the company for $1,000. So for me to try and do that on my own, bucks, you gotta be kidding me. So they're a tremendous resource. Anthony Russo is the lawyer, so if you want to contact Anthony, let him know. Go get a call. He's really good at it. So, oh, damn, that's a great question. Not even sure I'd have time to make the answer. Straight online wasn't available. So the products that we developed were for campers. A niche market like mine, Camping World is the only place that has it in stores. And there still is nobody else that has it in Camping World. So they were their initial focus, but since we went to Amazon, our sales have quadrupled over Camping World. So we know there's a demand beyond Camping World that we couldn't get to them without Camping World. So you've got a single source distributor or a single source, you're like selling tools. If you want to sell tools, well, Harbor Freight's the big, Harbor Freight's like HGTV, they're on the back of Food Network. Harbor Freight's everywhere. If you want to sell tools or tool related, go to Harbor Freight. They're not the only ones that buy tools, but they're the big distributors. You have to get yourself established in your market where you've got something to go on. Or a buyer from one industry knows you from another industry. A lot of this, I want to give you people a lot of confidence in that a lot of this is just being in the right place at the right time. Just being at the right trade show when the right person walks by. It's hard to wait on it because we do a lot of trade shows where that guy's planning on Mars. But every once in a while you get somebody to come by and say, oh. Yeah. There's always that one possibility that's out there that you live for the next time. You never go to a trade show because of the reason you went there. Always go to a trade show because of what you're going to come home with. You never talk to them or who you're going to talk to. Because they're there. It will happen. That's how many times have you heard that? I heard a lot. I've heard that. What else? Too many legs, too many things, too many possibilities, but it's fun. None of you would be here if this was not something you enjoy doing. If this is really a job, or you're going after a patent to develop a job, I think it's mistaken. I think it's the wrong course of action. Because to make this into a job, then all the challenges that requires so many sacrifices just aren't worth it. You can't support your own mental health and your own well-being by taking on a patent to create a job that has so many obstacles that you can't overcome. But if you think that creating a patent is something that's going to give you, some freedom and something fun to do and chasing down something new that's different, it's for everybody. Doing this to create work, there's the answer to the question. If I did this because I thought I was creating myself another job, no, I don't want another job. I want something that's unique and different and fun. If I get lucky, hey, down the road I'll sell it for a bunch of money. How many people are here because they want to make a job? I mean, really, think about it. Employment office, what do you want? I want a job. What do you want to do? I don't know, something's hard, takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and my patient doesn't want to have any of that. You should go somewhere else. We really thought we had it dialed in 2 years ago. Really did. We were on the cusp of trying to put it into getting an M&A or maybe a buyout when it came to the world asking about buying on the wall. And then Amazon kicked us right in the teeth. Just almost overnight changed the company. I was like, oh man, I got to start over. So the next level of people that are playing this game, Amazon's your first thing you got to deal with. Figure out how to handle it. You want to do it because you're going to face it right away. The minute your product gets out there and it's on the street, you're going to find it's on Amazon being listed. If you're not there figuring out how to handle that one, then it's like any other distribution leg you look at. If you sell a bunch of product to a distributor, you come back and you know what, we want you to buy it all back. We're not selling it. We just put $30,000 worth of product in the distributor's hands and he comes back 6 months later after you spent the money. Here, we want you to buy it back. And we had that happen. So it's like Amazon is one of those things people are thinking that, well, just how you handle Amazon, I don't know how to tell you how to do that. There's consultants out there, but the people I talk to, if somebody's consulting on Amazon, it's because they don't know how to make money on Amazon, because anybody can figure it out. But their websites are pretty hard to figure out, and they don't speak English, and you communicate only by email, and you get a phone call, it's only because you really scream too loud, but then when they respond, you can't understand what they're saying to you. They're the epitome of loss of translation. I don't know whether that's on purpose or because the market maybe is so much more international in scope now. I don't know. It'd be fun to do some research to figure out where they're making the most amount of money, in the United States or worldwide. Or I still think the majority of Amazon is making money go here, but they act as if they're international conglomerate. A lot of it is just being able to have some trust and faith in what you're doing, making sure that the due diligence studies you do and the companies that you align with have got some sense of honor. And maybe for the great big guys, that doesn't exist. That's just numbers. But when you're a smaller company, for the most part, the China manufacturers, we're dealing with one of the small to middle-sized companies, which means they're still pretty big. But we're about 2 months away from turnkey, which means we're not going to be producing anything else in the United States. We're going to bring it in from our manufacturer directly in the United States. We're going to use third-party logistics for fulfillment, and we're going to get into the game as best we can. That's where we're going to money. To get some sort of written agreement, I mean, my World Trade Center attorney says that's a joke. He says you don't have the money for it. You couldn't enforce it anyway. So I would say do the best you can. Make sure that you have a good relationship with them. They keep stressing going to China. But, oh, man, I don't want to go to China. Nobody says you need to go. You need to go over there. You need to have a relationship with them. He says the Chinese is very, very important that you have a relationship. That they know you. They relate to you. They talk to you. They understand what you want, what you need. He says they need your business. So to think that they're going to sneak out the back door from a small company and knock it off and go try and market. My market's the United States, so the only place they'd knock it off and resell it is to come back here. So for a company over there to take on that kind of risk, we're going to follow the United States trade laws. The FTC is the one. The FTC is the one that's going to bat for a couple of companies. I'll send you a link on that one. Where they went to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission said, you need to stop this product coming in. It was counterfeit. The FTC did it. They went after them. We supported the company, and China was see you later. So it's changing. So going to China, when I first started out 6 years ago, we dabbled a very small amount. And you're right, it was very scary. I had what was coming in, where it was going to go, and who else was going to steal it and take it. But I don't know. I think maybe it depends upon the scope of your business and how big you think it's going to get. Well, if you're on a rocket ship heading for the stars, then you need to have the money to back that play. You need to file foreign patents in every country you're going to do business with. You need to go through all the motions that cost a ton. What's it cost to file foreign? Every country has a fee. And it's a lot of dough. But people will tell you starting out, what's the time you sign? You got to do it in a couple of years or something? Huh? So 3-4 grand per country times 5, 6, 15, 20 countries, and all of a sudden you're broke. You got foreign protection everywhere, but the only place you're selling in the United States. I don't know that. Well, Amazon is doing that for us. They are. You get an invitation every 3 months to go to another country. Right now we got a standing invitation for Germany, Maine, Europe, Australia, and 4 other parts of the world. And they literally take our format from our Amazon listing, and for nothing, they'll clone it over to the country you're going to, set the whole thing up. All you do is ship your inventory to their specified location. Sell it. Well, we've done that. We've changed the language and instructions. But if you're going through Amazon, they don't require it. I don't know how that's going to play out. Can't buy it here. We tried. We tried to support everybody in the United States for 4 years while we gradually went broke. And we started doing the Made in USA labeling and all that. And all the people that are buying the product, it turns out that we're the only idiots doing it. I hate to be blunt. I hate to be blunt about it, but really, those days are done and gone. I mean, if you look at everything that you buy anywhere you go to buy something, none of it's 100% made in USA. It all has components that come from China or South Korea. Made all the car manufacturers don't fly in the States. You buy a Ford pickup truck, you're not buying a made USA Ford pickup. It's got stuff in it from all over the planet. We think it's made by a Ford, but it's made. Well, a lot of our society still does. The old dudes, hey man, you buy Ford, you better buy Chevy, buy none of that Ford stuff. Sometimes even more. It depends what you've got in your product. Yeah, I've actually had two of my suppliers come back and say they have a 30-day standing policy to change prices with no notice. If it happens, we're going to change our pricing. So if we got a commodity that's going to be affected by tariff, they're going to change the pricing. Tariff for most of us means 20 to 25%. We did the research in it. This hit us right in the middle of this process. We're lucky in that our completed kits are not going to change. They're going to stay where they were. We're not going to have anything in there that's going to have an escalated tariff. Is that going to change down the road? I don't know. I can tell you that even if I were to get hit with a tariff in the products, there's enough profit margin left where I can still justify buying from China. It's going to be less, but it's still going to be way better than what I'm doing with the USA. They're not, the majority of them are not like big, huge Chinese plants. They're all smaller entities. You don't find them in China. The ones that are giants at our level, we're never going to deal with them. I'd say be encouraged by that. I mean, South Korea is a good place to source products. I mean, they're very diligent, honest, and very caring. China, I don't sense to be Trump makes them out to be monsters at a level that we don't like. The level we're at, they're going rogue. I don't really want the war thing. Huh? There's just India's screaming for work. We can't turn down any of this. We're an international. We really are an international economy. So not pursuing those avenues. It's too many avenues to pursue. If you want to get it out there, your best avenue is America. Look, I need this printed by next Friday. No, I can't done to you by next Monday. Okay, good enough. Overseas, I need it printed. Well, we'll give it to you in 3 weeks. I can't wait 3 weeks. 4 weeks. They don't sense the urgency, and they don't have it. They're all built upon sea freight. Everything's sea freight. You can't afford to ship it any other way, so it's 60 days, sometimes 90, depending upon the ports. So you have to build your business model around that. If you want to use sourcing out of China or any other place where you use sea freight, larger quantities, make sure you got your duck in a row, and you're going to be 69 days out. The problem with that is you need to have backups. So you got all your stuff coming from overseas and all your backups, and you run out of stock and inventory, you better have resources. Well, if you go to your suppliers in the United States and you're only buying this tiny little bit, you're not going to get prices. Which on the back price. My mom wants one. Unfortunately, I can't stand on one of them. There's not one of those people on that show that I care to. I would never, you always think, who'd you sit down and have a breakfast or a beer with? Would not be anyone. If they're going to be trying to hawk your business and steal your stuff. Yeah, theater. It's just theater. It's not real. Plus, you get up there and if when you're doing business plans, how many here have done business plans? Whew. I worked through you might have sent me that referral. Folks, come on. They do business consulting. Who's the one that does the big one here in town? Government funded, supported. SBA is one of them, and who else is connected to that? But they want you to do a business plan. I took a course with 2 other instructors, and I want to tell you what, that is left for a CPA and attorney to sit down and do their business plans and do economic forecasts for 2 and 3 years out, and do a business model for lending and coming back to borrow money based on your business plan. It's all hocus pocus. It's all smoke, because it doesn't mean anything. But everybody wants we get on Shark Tank. You ever seen them come back and discuss a business plan? Can we see your business plan? You know, like where you sold, how many, what's your plan for the future, who you're selling? I can sell them. Venture. There's a company that Jeff came up with it. He found them online. Jeff used to be our graphics guy with Roger. They're called, how do they sell it? It's got a name. It's called FBA Businesses. So once you get into Amazon, once you're structured, you're selling product, it's called FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. So your product sold and shipped by Amazon, they take care of all the returns. You don't touch it. They ding you for the returns, but you literally don't have any customer service. So now there's Empire Flippers is the name of it. You get a chance to look them up on the internet. And they're a bunch of geeks. They live all over the world. They're just these guys that have got phenomenal computer skills, and all they do is they list and sell FBA businesses. So if you have an FBA business on Amazon, they take how many people you got in your client list, how many email contacts, and how many units and what your quantities are for selling. They'll spit you back a business valuation in 24 hours. If you want to list it, they put the listing up there, and they have people all over the planet. That's all they do is buy and sell FBA businesses. They're like peanuts to them. You buy an FBA business, you sit and run it, you don't touch it. The product comes from China, goes to fulfillment center, goes to Amazon and gets sold. You just literally sit there and pull the triggers on the phone. And you can take that FBA business and sell it. I think their last thing it told me sold like 10,000 FBA businesses were sold by Empire Flippers. The company strictly took their product, had it made, had it sold and filled out of a warehouse. You need to have something to sell and license. People that want to license your product want to move right into moving. We tried to do that, and we couldn't get it because we didn't have enough everything. You need all the elements in place where they can take your product and the blueprint for building it, where to get the supplies, where to have it produced, where to ship. They just literally take your product from you and they clone it in another location. So if you don't have all that in place, that means they have to do the work. Usually people that want to buy licensing don't want to do much work. They just want to take the product. They want to move your product into their distribution network tomorrow, and that means that right. Too much risk and way too much work. It's just like people that want to sell products on Amazon. They want to sell the product. Everybody gets it. This could go on forever because there's so many elements of what everybody's trying to do and how to do it, where to go, and just following your nose and following the resources and getting everything and ready to go. And then where you want to sell it, and you go and sell it. We went from zero sales on December 1.5 years ago, and this year we're going to sell 300,000. Stick with it, keep doing what the consultant tells us to do and how to handle that. We'll go to probably 5 to 6 million dollars. But it's killing us because that scale, that growth, that explosion of growth, you have to, you're not prepared for it. You have to scale these things. You need manpower, you need resources, you need inventory, you need so many things that cost you money that may look good on paper. It's there. It's there if you had, anybody can do it. There's a lot of people that's all they do is Amazon. They're making a fortune. When you go to Amazon's website and you click on Amazon, go on Amazon's website, what would you like to sell? First thing it says, they're asking you, what do you want to sell? And you tell them, I kind of like to be in automotive. They go to automotive category. Well, you can look at these widgets, and those are all in strong demand, so pick one of those. You go in and you pick a product you like and find somebody who can sell it to you for reasonable prices. You're on a list on Amazon. There you go. You're an Amazon seller. You don't own the product. You negotiate with the manufacturer. Well, how many do you want to buy? I want to buy 10,000. I'll sell them to you at this price, and you turn around and list them on Amazon for $5. Buy the automatic repricing software, and every time you play the game. So your margin runs out, you don't make any money, and then you either go find another product or get a better price. Exactly. Well, sure, if you go to a small manufacturer and you buy 60% of his production and he gives you the rock bottom price, you take it to Amazon, you put it up there, you put it at a reasonable margin, you play that spiral game, Amazon doesn't compete against you. It's good money for you. You go find it. If they come after you, then you go find another product, so you can own it. It's really, Jeff wanted to do that. Remember? He was looking for a product he wanted to sell on Amazon when we first started doing this stuff. He couldn't find a source and trying to locate that product that you want to sell. You've got nothing invested but a deposit on your inventory. You work the deposit correctly and use somebody else's money to finance it. You got payments every month. You got Amazon money coming in. You take off the difference. You never leave your bedroom. And what did you do for it? Nothing. Put 10 grand down on buying some product and put a listing on Amazon. You're lucky you make 6-8 grand on it per year. You do 3 or 4 products, 40, 50 a year. All of a sudden, all you're doing is spending some numbers on Amazon. And we're the manufacturers that are selling to you guys. We were approached by a company at the hardware trade show, which is a big one. That's the one that we spent money. Holy shit. That cost us a lot of dough. But we did that trade show in Vegas, and we got approached by them. They wanted to buy our production. Buy entire production. We got all your product, we'll buy it, and we're going to put it on. Here's what we're going to pay you for it. That was a tough nut to crack. It's hard to try to figure out, what do I do with this offer? You're going to buy everything we make for X amount of dough. We've got a fixed margin, finance for 30, 60, 90 days. They put it on Amazon and sell it all out. What happens to your company after a year if it doesn't work? You're tanked. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just make sure when you guys go into it, you got your eyes open. You're going to have to contend with it. It's not tough to do. It's just figuring out how you want to sell and how you want to handle your sales. From there, it's figuring out how you make money. It's not tough to do. It's a lot of fun. Whatever happened to robots? You ever make that robot? You tell that story. They brought it to the. What happened? Was it one of those? That's another thing that can happen. Somebody comes in and you have a product that's threatening a line. You have a specific product that somebody else has got something similar to. We got that going on. The guy came in here and he didn't really want to buy the company. We could tell right away. What he wanted to do was buy up resources and patent and all the intellectual property and bury it. Just bury it. Put it in the trash and put it away because then he doesn't have any competition and he doesn't have to deal with it. And that can happen. You know, if the number's big enough, why do you care? product can take on a life of its own. They become like a child. When you get to a point where you really want to see it explode, be big, even though you may not make any more money off it, you want to see it in lights. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. You want to see it in a dumpster somewhere. That's what they do. You buy all your inventory, throw it in a dumpster, and put your patent in a drawer, and you're gone. There it is. No kidding. That's you're talking about the big one. Oh boy, what happened? Really? Congratulations. What are you doing here? Why aren't you retired? Another level of intrigue for the product development business. I don't want to touch on that one. Tool, the tool world closed. That's a real close. Okay. Well, if you want to cross one, need some help. Tools are fun. Our adhesive system, we worked with a 3M development engineer to be able to come up with adhesive that bonds those plates to the door. It took a while, a lot of work. Being able to deal with huh? Yeah. That VHP tape, that stuff holds its facial. You know your big 40, 45-foot semis, semis, they used to have them all riveted together. They use that tape. Skins, the struts, they use a version of that tape. We've got the instructions behind it, and we tell people, look, you get one crack at it. Do not miss it. Once you stick it, it's stuck. Pure hose? No. I should know. I'm not an oil field guy. It's a wellhead. See how it pokes, see how I'm indexing and how that wrench, how you strike that wrench. What they used to do is, and they still do it, a lot of places is try to rotate that into the wrench. One guy holds it, the other guy beats the shit out of it. They get it all greasy and flies off, takes out the guy's big cat, you know. That works upside down. Well, congratulations to you. Some other ideas?